Hello friends, welcome back to TechnoGeek SFDC. So in today's session, we are going to talk about wrapper classes in Salesforce. So I would say it's a very important concept and you can see it's being used widely in all your Salesforce orgs. So what wrapper classes are? Wrapper classes are basically also known as their inner classes. So you can write one inner class inside another and then you can use them to uh, to combine unrelated records together and present them as a single record to the system. Okay, this also you can say it acts like a apex defined object. Okay, users defined apex objects. Okay, and whose scope is till the time your code is getting executed. Okay, so let's take a small example basically to understand what wrapper classes can do. Okay, so let's say you get a requirement where you need to write a method which will take an input as a string, and then you need to search in account and opportunities that whatever accounts and opportunities have this particular name, or you can say contains this particular name, you need to return those records. But now since you know that on any Apex method you have only one return type. Okay, so if you go with the traditional way, either you can return list of account or list of opportunity. But here the requirement is you need both. Okay. Then in that case, what we can do, we will use wrapper records or wrapper classes in Apex. Okay. Which will combine list of account and list of opportunity together. So it will basically combine them together and store it in one container which will act as a record. Okay, and then you can use the return type as that particular wrapper record or that particular wrapper class, so that you can send back, or you can basically define the return of data which from the objects which are not related to each other. Okay, so I hope you understand like what wrapper. So in simple terms, if I tell, wrapper classes are basically to wrap unrelated records or unrelated data together so that it can be presented as one record. Okay, or it can be presented as a single record. So let's see how we can create wrapper classes in our Salesforce or in our Apex. So as I mentioned, we can consider the same example where we need to pass a string, and then based on that string we need to return all the accounts and opportunities having the name, having the same, containing that particular name. Okay, so how we can start with that? Okay, so first we will define our class, public class, and then I'll say wrapper demo class. Okay, now for that, first we need to define an inner class. Okay, so how we can define an inner class? As I was telling, you will be having an outer class and then you will be having one inner class. So here I'll define one more class inside inner class, inside the outer class. Okay, that is inside our wrapper demo class, I will define one more class which will act as a user defined Apex object. Okay, so we will give here, let's say, uh, demo inner class. Okay, so now you have created an Apex object here. Now inside this you need fields, okay, where you will be storing the data. Okay, so what we will do, we will write public. So in our case we need list of account and opportunities. Okay, list of opportunities. So we will create one variable for storing the list of account and one variable for storing list of opportunities. Okay, so here we defined public list of opportunity. So we will create public list of opportunities. Okay, so we will keep like opportunity. Okay, and then you will give a variable name called OPP list with the get set. Okay, so Here, so in simple terms, if you try to visualize, this is also a type of object. Like we have custom objects in Salesforce, right? Where we define object and we define fields and we create the record of those particular object. It's the same concept here, but here instead of creating an object on the metadata level, that is on the org level, you are just creating a object of Apex type. Okay. So here your demo inner class acts as an object and OPP list, ACC list, this will act as the fields of it. Okay. Now let's come up with our public. So as I said, here you can use this particular wrapper class instance or wrapper class as return type. Okay. So I'll use public demo inner class return type, and then I'll give the method name, and I'll give string name val. Okay. Now what we will do first, we will first list of account, and then I'll create list of opportunity. So we created two lists here. Now we will do a query in our SOQL query. Like we have already seen the SOQL query, like all the aspects of SOQL query. So if you have not gone through that video, I will put that link in the description. You can definitely go and have a look into that. Okay. So here I will put something like select ID comma name from account where you can say name like. So this percentage is called wildcard character. Okay, so I am using wildcard in the like. So percentage is more of a it will basically, let's say if you're using the percentage and then the name, so it will look into the account which is having name containing this particular string. So it can be anywhere between the name. Okay, if I remove this particular percentage from start, then it will look for the name which is starting with this particular string. Similarly, if I remove the last one, then it will look for the name which is ending with this particular name. Okay, so I will use my normal percentage in front of both so that it will get me all the account where name containing this particular string. Okay, and I'll just put 10,000. Okay, similarly, I'll write one query on opportunity. Let, I'll just quickly check if we have name field on the opportunity. We should have. Yeah, we have it. Okay, so from opportunity where name like, again I'll put limit as 10,000 here. Okay, so now what we have done here till now, we have done a query on account and we have done a query on opportunity. Okay, we have received both the values. I mean, we have done the SOC and we have received both the values stored in separate variables. But now we have to return it, right? And as I said, the return type can only be one. Okay, it cannot be a list of account as well as list of opportunity. So in this case, we are going to now utilize our wrapper class or inner class. Okay, so here first what we will do, we will create an instance of the wrapper class, similar to how we create an instance of any object in our Apex. Okay, so I will keep like combined record. I'll just give one name. Combined record equals new demo class. So there are two ways basically. Okay, either you can just initialize it and then one by one you can give the assign the variable with the values. Okay, something like this. ACC list equals ACC. Similarly, combined record dot OPP list equals OPP. This is one way. This is one way. Okay. Another way is you can define a constructor, or as you know, all classes are having a predefined constructor into it. But if you want, you can override those constructor and you can write your own, right? So if you want, you can use constructors as well here. Okay. Something like public demo inner class, then list of opportunity OPP, and here you can do like OPP list equals OPP and ACC list equals ACC. Okay, so this is also one way. Okay, so in this case, if we want to utilize, then we don't need to write these two lines here. Okay, instead we just need to pass ACC comma OPP. So if you're passing something like this, you have initialized, and in the constructor you're passing. So in inside, the system will call this class because this is the constructor of the inner class, and then it will do the assignment. Okay, so you have both the ways. You can use any way, whichever is comfortable or comfortable to you. Okay, usually we use the constructor in case if we don't need to, if we don't need to modify any particular you can say if we don't need to modify any particular variable value. Okay, if you just need to do an assignment, then you can use constructor, else you can use this particular way of assigning it. So here you can do something like ACC list, and then you can write your own logic here to do the modification. Okay, so now so we have created an instance of the wrapper class, and then we have passed the value. Now we will use return combined record, because your return type should always match with what you have written in the return statement, right? So my return statement is combined record, which is of type demo inner class, and the return type for this class is again demo inner class, right? So that's where I am returning combined record. Now let's see this working. So if I'll go to home, I'll create a class, Apex class, and I'll use new line 6 OPPOR. OPPOR. Okay, yeah. So it got saved successfully. Okay, so now if you can see, as per our logic, now we are returning account list as well as opportunity list. Basically, we are wrapping them together in a separate demo inner class object and showcasing them as a single record. And that's why we were able to use that wrapper class as a return type of our method. Okay, now let's try to execute this. So we will use, we will create an instance of our wrapper class. Okay, so to create an instance of a wrapper class outside the class. Okay, so for example, if you want to create an instance of demo inner class, or if you want to use this particular wrapper class outside of the wrapper demo class, then the hierarchy or the syntax will be your outer class dot inner class. Okay, so here we will use our outer class dot inner class, inner rec equals new. Okay, so we have created a instance. Now we will use demo. Okay, and then we will use our fetch ACC op, and then let me see if we have any opportunity with this particular name. If I have any test or something, no. Okay, okay. We'll use HEDGE. This should I'm expecting that this should return some values, and I will use demo check dot fetch opp. Okay. So now what it will do, it will basically it will basically do a query on account, it will do a query on opportunity, combine them, and it will return me the wrapper record. Okay. Now, how to extract the value from the wrapper record? Okay. So it will be similar to how we extract the value from our normal objects. Okay. Let's say I'll put ACC list and then inner rec dot ACC list. So how we do in our normal custom objects record. So let's say you have an account record, and if you want to extract the field value called name from account record. So how we do, we basically use instance like ACC dot field name, right? Same concept here as well. You need to basically write the instance of your inner class, that is our inner rec, okay, followed by field name. So field is nothing but the variable which we have defined in the inner class. Okay, so it will be followed by inner variable name. Similarly, I'll just put opp list, and then I can use this. So this is the way where I have retrieved the account list as well as opportunity list here. Okay, let's try to execute this and we'll see the outcome. Line 144 constructor not defined. Okay, sorry, it need not to be a constructor. It will be just of a return type. See, so what we have received the demo inner class, that is our wrapper record, which con in which we had two fields basically, or variables basically. Okay, one was ACC list and another one was OPP list. So if I say OPP list, yeah. So this is the OPP list. Okay. Now if you see, in ACC list we have list of account, and in OPP list we have list of opportunity, and by using our object.field syntax, we were able to retrieve the value from the wrapper record. Okay, so this is one use case of wrapper record which you can use. Okay, there can be multiple, there can be lot of scenarios where you can create wrapper record. For example, like you want to showcase checkboxes on the UI along with the record, so you can use one boolean. You can just define a boolean variable here, something like public boolean is selected, and then you can use this. So this boolean you can use to showcase as a checkbox on the UI. So this can also be one scenario. Okay, now if you want to use, just one thing we need to keep in mind, that if you want to use the inner class in our lightning components or aura components, then to make these fields as available in the UI, so basically from your aura component JavaScript method you are calling this, and in return you are getting the combined record, right? But to access this field variable, you need to define at the rate aura enabled. Okay, this will be on the all variables what we have inside this particular wrapper record. So that you are telling the system that these variables can be accessed in the lightning framework as well. Okay, so I hope you got an idea of what wrapper classes are or what wrapper classes can do. it is used widely in Salesforce Apex because many times you get a requirements where you need to combine unrelated data like booleans or strings or date time field many places. Okay, and that's where we use wrapper classes in bulk. So it is very important to understand the concept of wrapper class, and the concept is very simple. It's basically just to combine the unrelated data together to showcase them as a single record. Okay, because related record you can anyhow use relationship queries in the Salesforce and it can be shown, but what about unrelated records? So that's where we use the wrapper classes. So I hope you like this video, you got an idea of wrapper class. You can reach out to me if you have any query anytime, and see you soon. We'll come up with more videos. Thank you, thanks for your time. Bye bye.